Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Portugal and welcome to the launch of the lovely XSR900 GP, which I have been spanking around Circuit of Estoril today and the roads around here as well. All morning, all afternoon. It's been a blinder. You've probably already watched the video review about this bike, and some of you might want to know how this thing came to be, because there's not really anything else in the market like this, is there?
Not really, no.
No. You're a very modest person, and I've known you for a little while now. This bike is basically all about you. You dreamt this thing up, and you said to them that you want to build it, and you want to do it, and now it's here. And I thought it was quite a nice story behind it. So how did this happen?
Yeah, it's been a long road. It's been a labour of love, this one, really. Back when I interviewed for Yamaha in 2015, I think it was, Shun Miyazawa, the daddy of Faster Sons, asked me what kind of bike I'd like to build at Yamaha if I joined the company. And my idea was to take advantage of Yamaha's great performance platforms and build a retro sports bike out of them. Fast forward a few years and we finally made it across the finish line, but the road there was...
Yes, hold on. So you joined the company in 2015. 15. And this was just a concept in your mind at that point.
It was.
It's finally arrived, though.
Yeah, we had a few bumps in the road, you know, COVID got in the way, and of course it's always this kind of passion project, this kind of thing, which we know it's not going to be a top seller, but it's going to be a niche product for people that just fall in love with the bike. You have to find the right kind of support in the company.
Yeah.
Get people on side and find engineers who then want to work on it. And luckily, there's no shortage of really passionate guys in Yamaha to bring it to reality. Indeed.
And a lot of the guys at Yamaha, they were still working at Yamaha when these things were racing, and you weren't. And
no,
I was just about born.
It's a little bit before my time in a way, but it's a time that I look back on just as such an incredible period to
very evocative.
That
era of these bikes in these colours and the Yamaha Speed Block colours and the Gaulois colours and all of that stuff just tumbled up, just takes you straight back there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a goldmine really for us to look into in terms of referencing the past, and that was one of the most fun bits of the project, was really checking over all the old YZRs in Japan and looking at all the details and seeing how we can incorporate some of those elements into the GP that we have here.
And the XSR900, it does feel like a bike that even when we rode it in Tuscany a couple of years ago, you got on it and you looked at the shape of the fuel tank and you were like, oh, this is all very, very like retro superbike. This would, all it needs is a fairing.
Yeah, very perceptive. I mean, from the beginning it was planned that there'd be a faired and an unfaired version of the bike, but knowing that the market in general, the bigger quantities are with the unfaired bikes, we prioritised that, and so the GP came a little bit in delay, but actually all the better for it, because we could put some learnings from that first bike into this and come out with what we think is a better model.
Okay. There was also really quite an interesting story that we were talking about earlier, and that was when you conceptualised this, COVID-19 was not even, it wasn't even an illness, it was a random chest that someone got. You conceptualised this, and then there was normally if you conceptualised it, you'd be flying back and forth from Japan and going and looking at clay models, and you couldn't do any of that. You were stuck in the UK and they were building it over there.
This is it, in Amsterdam. But
Amsterdam, sorry.
No, that's true. Japan was closed for 2.5 years, and we had to do this all virtually, and even to the point where we didn't do a clay. Normally we have a physical 3D clay model where our sculptors are making it, but the whole thing was done in CAD. The whole thing was done as a 3D render. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, when I saw the first proto, I think it was maybe 2022, and actually got to sit on it. Yeah, it was a sense of relief when it was how we...
So you saw this before we'd ridden the XSR900s naked? Oh, that really... That annoys me. That's quite a cool story, though, because in COVID-19, everybody changed how they did everything.
Yeah.
How they interacted with their work colleagues, how they interacted with their family. I remember doing online quizzes with my friends. Has any of that carried over, or do you still need a bike like this, do you still need to conceptualize it in person, in 3D, walk around it and look at the angles? And
good question. I think there are learnings, obviously, we got from there, working in a much more efficient manner online, using a lot more digital tools now, of course. I still believe nothing beats clay. The ability to walk up to a full-size 3D model, touch, sit, understand proportion.
See how it changes as you get closer to it.
Exactly. Once VR tech gets a bit further on, maybe it can be an additional tool in the box. But
Kind of hope not.
I do too. It's so wonderful when you just see a full-size clay and it ticks the box. Yeah,
it certainly does. I say I didn't get to ride it at Goodwood. I was offered the ride of it at Goodwood, but all of the awnings were getting blown away and there was nobody there and it was raining, and I kind of went, I'm just not going to really, I don't want to crash it. But I'm glad we rode it today, and we got to ride it on the track, which was awesome. And that's one of the things about it. It's not form over function. It's still a great sports bike.
This is it. We want it to be more than skin deep. We want it to be a really good bike to ride on the road, go and have a blast. And
it has to be.
Hope you enjoyed it today.
No, honestly, it has. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having us along. James, I'll catch up with you soon. So there's a bit of a deep dive, really, just into how this thing came about, because it is an interesting concept. There isn't really anything like it on the road. And, well, fair play for having the balls to build it, which is really good.
I've got to say thank you for Yamaha for letting me follow through with it. So
yeah, no, all good, mate. All good. Right, I've been Toad from Visordown. Thank you for watching. If you haven't watched the review of this bike, it is on YouTube now. Get yourself over there and check it out. Cheers, folks.